Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Citadel, Season 1, Episode 5, Time Renders Us Enemies. So, I personally thought this episode was the best episode of the season. It had no action scenes of any significance whatsoever, but what it did have was revelations. Things were revealed, and that made the story go along a lot better. So we're not asking too many questions because we've had those questions answered. And I like the episode for that. Because prior to that, all this coy and who's a double agent, who isn't. Are they really the good guy? Is this person really a bad guy? Are we being misunderstood here? Is there something that's going to come from left field? And yes, something did come from left field. We find out that Nadia is a mother, and the father of her daughter is Mason Kane. That is basically it. Now we get back to the beginning of this episode with Carter, and him being rescued by Nadia and Mason, and that pretty much played out throughout the previous episode. But we're back here again with this episode. We get another flashback prior to them even trying to get Carter out of the fucking jail room, and then like middle of the episode we get back to everything again. I mean the flashbacks kind of put into place the revelation of Nadia being a mother, which is the reason why everyone assumed that she was a double agent, because the secret she was keeping from Citadel was the fact that she had a fucking daughter. And because Citadel didn't know that she was keeping that particular secret, they just assumed that whatever secret she was keeping was her being a fucking double agent, as well as her dad apparently being a terrorist. Something Citadel didn't know, funnily enough, because well, they should know these things because they're, a massive spy agency. But somehow they didn't know that Nadia's father is also a terrorist. But she can't help who her family is, and she still wants to be considered to be one of the good guys. Nevertheless, we do get lots of flashbacks once again during the course of this episode, just to explain how Nadia's scenario situation kind of ended up. We have some really good scenes between Nadia and Mason, especially in the cafe, where Mason is really expressing his love for Nadia, but Nadia says, I can love myself, I just can't love you. Basically explaining to him that, look, we're both in the spy game here. We can't be married and have a family. That ain't gonna fucking happen. And she already has a kid by then, or I think she might be pregnant by then, which is one of the reasons why she probably also wants to be out of Citadel too. So I'm going to come back to all of this, Nadia, Mason being parents and all of that shit, just in a moment, because I want to just talk about Bernard very briefly. Um, he has the nuclear codes, and Dahlia, the British ambassador lady, she is going to target Bernard's family as well as Mason's family if she doesn't get those codes. And prior to all of that, Bernard had already tried to coax Anders, the big hipster looking dude, one of the twins, into helping him escape because Anders' partner, his wife, is now Mason's wife. I'm sure you guys know what I'm fucking talking about here. So Anders is going to help Bernard escape, but just as he's trying to do that, Anders gets shot in the fucking head, and he still ends up fighting a little bit until he ends up dying. So Anders is now dead, and Mason is put between a rock and a hard place because he doesn't want to give the codes, but if he doesn't give the codes, his family will be killed, so he ends up giving the codes. But the codes themselves still need somebody to deploy them, and that's Mason Kane, and we'll get to that in a second. But that was a good scene. Dahlia also ends up talking to Davik, which is the other brother, played by the same actor, and he's the muscle of the two twins, and tells him what he has to do regarding the operations that Dahlia has in plan. But she also says that Bernard killed his brother, which is not the case. So she lied to him as well. This obviously upsets Davik a bit, but nevertheless, he is the henchman of the twins. So he's got work to do, and he's going to try and suppress his emotions, I guess, until he gets his hands on Bernard, even though Bernard did not kill his brother. I mean, he got him killed to a degree, but nevertheless, he wasn't the one who pulled the fucking trigger, did he? So, anyway. So back to Mason and Nadia. As they are escaping with Carter, they get met by some of Dahlia's men, and Dahlia communicates to Mason through her men and basically tells Mason, listen, I want you to steal 5 nukes from this Russian submarine, and if you don't, and then one of the henchmen dangles this fucking necklace or this bracelet which belongs to Nadia's baby, well, we're gonna kill your child. So basically, Dahlia's got Nadia's baby. Nadia's, well, not baby anymore, but she's 8 years older now. So Nadia's daughter, Mason's daughter, and if those two don't do a job for them, their kid gets killed. Dun dun dun. So yeah, Dahlia seems to be one step ahead of everybody. She still has Bernard. I don't know what's happened to Bernard in the latter part of this episode. Obviously, he's still in custody by Dahlia, but we don't really see what's happened to him. I don't think he's dead. I mean, he's still too important to be killed just yet. I do think he will die by the end of the season, though. I think Stanley Tucci's time will be done by episode 7 or 8. But we do know that now that Mason and Nadia have to do a mission, which will probably make them come across as double agents themselves. So we'll see how that pans out as well. So yeah, there's a lot to happen in the next few episodes. Did like this episode, even though I don't like this show. I did like this episode. This was a much better episode. Need I say, I'm going to probably give this episode a 7 out of 10. I should maybe give it an 8. It was better than I expected. But I don't want to be overly generous. 7 is what it's going to get from me. We'll see what happens next week with this particular show. But overall, not bad. Not bad. I'm glad things have improved. But they couldn't get any worse, could it? Let me know what you think of the Citadel. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. Not only are we on fucking TikTok, we're also on YouTube. So whatever platform you're looking us on, look for us on the other platform and subscribe to that too. Alright, take care now. Bye bye.